In the United States, we waste at least 60 million tons of food each year. That's up to 40% of our entire food supply, and yet 1 in 5 children suffer from food insecurity. We don't have a food shortage problem, we have a food distribution and waste problem. And we're paying for it in dollars, emissions, and in empty stomachs. My name is Edson, and today I will be introducing a company designed to fix this contradiction known as Fresh Cycle. Fresh Cycle is a food system solution that provides cheaper food, reduces the overall food waste, and feeds more Americans. For you, the investor, that means a scalable impact with measurable returns in both profit and purpose. Fresh Cycle is born from research into rescuing surplus, reducing waste, and bringing down the prices for the American consumer. I've studied the systematic gaps and designed a solution rooted in both market and logic human need. In the next few minutes, I will walk you through 3 key points. First, why food waste is a major economic and social problem. Second, how my company proposes to solve it. And third, why the food system and sustainability sector is one of the most promising industries to invest in today. So, let's begin with the first problem that drives it all: America's broken relationship with food. In 2019, the Environmental Protection Agency estimates that about 66 million tons of food were generated in the food retail, food service, and residential sectors, and most of this food waste, about 60%, was sent to landfills. Additionally, the U.S. Department of Agriculture estimates that in 2010, 31%, or 133 billion pounds of the 430 billion pounds of food available at the retail and consumer level was not eaten, valued at almost $162 billion of lost profits. Food loss and waste generates 8 to 10% of global greenhouse gas emissions. Each year, the emissions caused by wasted food in the U.S. are greater than the emissions from all domestic flights within the U.S., plus all international flights run by U.S. airlines. There are more issues that go hand in hand with waste, such as inflation of food. The price of dairy products have also increased. If you can see here, dairy has increased by 13%, meat has increased by 21.2%, and eggs an astonishing increase of 41.1%. Overall, food has increased by 23.6%, which leads a lot of Americans to decide on whether they should either pay for food, pay for rent, or pay for housing or medical care. Personal anecdote that I have experienced and seen myself is I've seen nurses who make a lot of money have to rummage through old people's food that they have already consumed in others' mouths just because they cannot afford to do so. These prices changes lead to the unfortunate reality of food insecurity in America. Namely, the children of America go hungry. FRAC has found that 1 in every 5 children face food insecurity, as mentioned, but that also 2 in 5 Americans actually won't even qualify for any kind of benefits such as SNAP. The main point of all this is that we have understand the devastating impact of food waste and food insecurity. Now let me introduce you to Fresh Cycle, a company built to turn surplus into sustenance and loss into opportunity. Here's how it works. We partner directly with grocery retailers, food producers, restaurants, and even local farmers using predictive analytics and store-level data. We identify products approaching their sell-by window. These items are still perfectly safe and nutritious, but are typically cast aside due to cosmetic standards and shelf rotation practices. We buy them at a reduced cost, saving our partners on waste disposal and unlocking tax incentives in return. From there, we redistribute that food through Fresh Cycle's community market, mobile carts, and pop-up storefronts in undeserved neighborhoods. This model allows us to sell quality food at affordable prices while ensuring inventory turnover stays high. Think of it as a circular food economy, one where food is revalued before it is discarded and families get access to affordable fresh goods they can trust. Our business model is built on simplicity, sustainability. By purchasing at reduced rates and reselling at fair prices, Fresh Cycle generates revenue while remaining accessible to low-income households. The food that was once seen as a loss becomes a lifeline for both our partners and our customers. And the return, triple-fold: lower costs for consumers, reputation tax, and ECG benefits for our partners, and scalable, steady revenue for our investors. So even with a strong solution in hand, it's natural to ask why this industry and why Fresh Cycle. The food waste management industry is growing fast. According to the Grand View research, it was valued at nearly $70 billion in 2022 and is projected to reach over $106 billion by 2030, with a compound annual growth rate of 5.4%. And when we zoom in on the United States, the U.S. food waste management sector is expected to grow from $4.84 billion in 2023 to $7 billion by 2031. According to verified market research, that's a growth rate of over 5% year over year. But it doesn't stop there. The upcycled food market, where surplus ingredients are repurposed into new products, is projected to rise from $53 billion in 2021 to nearly $97 billion by 2031. Consumers want sustainability, and they're willing to support brands that align within their values. Investors are paying attention. Over 90% of institutional investors now include ESG metrics in their decisions. Fresh Cycle is an ESG by design, reducing food waste, cutting emissions, and directly combating inequality through food access. Our model delivers environmental, social, and financial return all in one investment. We're also operating in a policy landscape that's evolving in our favor. States like California, Massachusetts, and New York have passed food waste legislation requiring diversion and recovery. As this regulatory trend continues, business will need solutions like Fresh Cycle to stay compliant and competitive. And here's where we stand out. Unlike traditional food banks, which rely on donations, or grocery discounters focused on bulk volume, Fresh Cycle offers a smart, scalable, logistics-driven solution that empowers both sides of the supply chain and the producers and consumers alike. So in conclusion, we've explored a nationwide crisis, food waste and food insecurity, and how both are made worse by inflation, supply chains, and inefficiencies. Fresh Cycle isn't just a food solution, it's an investment in economic resilience, environmental sustainability, and community and well-being. And here's the truth. When a child in America goes to bed hungry, while their neighborhood grocery store throws away trays of untouched produce, that's not a supply problem, that's a system problem. Fresh Cycle exists to change that. With your investment, we can waste less food, feed more, and create a cycle that works for families, for businesses, and for the future.